And we are back, man. Outriders is here. Also want to laugh at myself. I'm learning this is a process. In a video that I talked about Outriders, I think I said, or I know I said, thank you for letting me know in the comments. The Outriders. It's Outriders, and the dev team was the same dev team that did Gears of War and some other titles, which I played all the Gears of Wars. I just never paid attention to some of these other developing teams. I'm learning that more, especially as I'm making videos and streaming, more than just looking at the flashy name, the publisher on the game title. So thank you guys, and also thanks for the cool cats who are subscribing. We're past 130 subscribers. Now let's get into this video. It shouldn't be long. It's not really a video, it's more of a podcast. I do not like to show video in the background unless it's really showing something, because for me, I just listen to it while I'm at work or in the car or doing chores, whatever the case is. So less data, just an image on the screen. So we're talking Outriders. Now the demo is out, and before I play the demo, I would like to just get this out here on the internet, just get it out there on how I feel about this game before I start it, to see if it changes once I get a chance to play this game. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna play the first day. That's just I know the servers are gonna be ridiculous. I don't know if there's any patches or anything they're gonna do to the demo, or any feedback they're gonna take, but I'm just not gonna mess with it on the first day. But when I do get in the game, some of the concerns that I have, the Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, you can't really talk any video game from a AAA perspective, the look and feel, again, Square Enix being a part of this. And the recent game that you have is Marvel's Avengers, that's having their hiccups, their issues. So Cyberpunk, what do you got? The Division series, Borderlands had a few hiccups, but they're fine. They're working on the fourth Borderlands in a movie, actually. You can't be 100% like, yeah, this is gonna be the best game ever, and there's no tricks involved. So the whole idea of, are you getting really what you pay for? And right now, the awesome thing about the demo is you're not paying anything. And that's what I think is awesome. Also, their communication with Lucy and Robbie, how they're putting together these broadcasts and this information, especially even on Discord, where they're openly talking to people. I mean, I've had Robbie text me in Discord a question I had about the game. I'm pretty sure he's doing that to a lot of other people in the community. That is awesome. Even if it is something that's happening during the launch of the game that comes out in April, whether they keep up on the same open communication after the launch, we'll see. But it's a really good feeling leading up to the launch. So the whole Cyberpunk situation is like, hey, you're paying full price for this game. How is that? What should I be cautious about going into this game? So that's something I'm gonna keep my eye on. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna pre-order it, but again, I think that comes from Cyberpunk kind of messing up a lot of people. The next thing I'll go into would be the storyline. I'm really curious about the storyline and the lore, and I believe this game is gonna take elements from a lot of other games, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with what it looks like, the kind of a Gears of War feel, the feeling of Destiny and Division and Path of Exile and certain other games that people are saying online that it reminds them of. I think to each person, it'll call out to you a little different. But I'm curious about the storyline. Like a game like this with the potentials of downloadable content later on, if the storyline, if the lore is there, that really connects their universe to how people feel connected to it. And it's a third person shooter, so some people just don't feel as connected versus a first person. And I'm just curious on how they're going to tie in that storyline. Also, when I saw the early footage of this game months ago, one of the issues that were coming up was their storyline, not necessarily the story itself, but the flow of the story. Meaning, and to me, this is my opinion, but it's like you would watch the cutscene and the cutscenes look dry, the animations look dry, the voiceover was dry, and again, if the gameplay is fun, sometimes, I can't think of any right now, but sometimes there's games that we play, we have fun with, and the storyline is almost, it's too funny to enjoy, but you get through it, and the gameplay, the multiplayer, the friends you meet online, that's what enhances it, where you're like, you don't even pay any attention to that. So I am curious though how the storyline's gonna go. What's the flow of the dialogue in the story, the animations with the characters and things of that nature? Does it feel immersive? immersive as you playing the game and living out this character that you get to create. Even with the idea of that fact that you can change the character's name and appearance and gender anytime you want, from mission to mission, from bad guy to bad guy, it doesn't matter, it's up to you. And that's interesting. I don't know if you can change your voice as well, but the other thing that I'm curious about is it's not a live service game, so it's not like The Division or something like even Marvel's Avengers, where the game comes out, it's a live service game, which means I'm not gonna say anything negative, you know what it means, but there's more content that comes out at a later point of the game. And how could I not mention in the beginning, which ties into this, Anthem. I mean, right now the news is coming out that Anthem, if I'm correct, you know, in reading, not in reading, but I have my moments, that Anthem next or Anthem 2.0 is not going to happen, and the amazing comeback that people were hoping from that game, that was a very interesting title to say the least, and interesting mechanics, isn't going to get that second shot. So, you know, looking at a live service game like The Division and what they did towards the end on their storyline, only to kind of come back and say, hey, I know it looked like we're done, but we're not. Shareholders and some executive people said, we've got more, here it comes. So that makes me think about what about hardcore players? There's some awesome people in the community. Almost day one, they run through a game, and that's, I mean, right now you can watch people do like a 25-minute speed run on Hades in front of the devs and watch the devs like, what? That's not what we intended. How is this going to work? Now, I know they have the world tiers all the way to 15, and it gets harder, and the farming for loot and re-rolling your items and multiplayer, and you got multiple different classes to try. You've got a very impressive skill tree that branches out, where you can kind of be a little bit of, not everything, but you can branch out a little bit more into different classes. You don't have to just pick a straight line and go for it. And I'm just curious, how does that work? And I don't think we'll really know until the game comes out. I don't think the demo is going to really show what happens when someone goes through and just runs through a game and devours it. But I'm pretty sure if the game is successful and, you know, the community is asking for it, downloadable content will come out, whether it's PvP, whether it's more missions. And again, that's what goes into the storyline. If the storyline is poor, or the execution of it is poor, but maybe the storyline is good but the execution is poor, then maybe people don't buy into the storyline. If that's what you're selling in the DLC, it would have to be quality of life or features. The other avenue would be events. I mean, if it's not live service, I think it'd be really cool to have events, you know, certain holidays or certain things that are happening where things happen on the map for whatever the reason. I think that'll be a way to add new content for players who have ran through that already. So that'll be interesting. The other thing that's, you know, something to be concerned about, or something that I just want to keep my eye on as I play this demo, is the online play. Very important for, you know, this game to have really good online play, if that's your thing. Now, they've already said that you can play this solo. You never have to play online if you don't want to. So it's not like this feature is make or break for me or really anybody else. It just, I'm curious about the online play. I think that's a great setup to have online play. You got 3 friends or 3 people that could potentially be friends playing this game, and that's going to be awesome. So I'm going to be looking for that, the frame rates and things of that nature. Though I know it's not the final game, it's a demo. It's almost the final game, kind of, right? And before I get out of here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, ring-a-ling-a-ling on the bell, and let's go ahead and have likes and comments inside this video box thing at the bottom underneath the screen. What class are you using? I'm going with the Technomancer. Am I saying it right? Yeah, I'm going with the Tech Shaman is what I'm going for. I like doing anything that's healing builds or support builds. I don't need to be the lead singer in the band. I'm fine with playing backup, and I'm cool with that. So that's what I'm going for. Now, with the last part, going into it, segueing into it, yeah, something like that. Anyways, different builds, like, I think that'll be the interesting thing. Obviously, I don't think the demo is going to show it. I think you have a lot of people who are going to I guess create their own mini builds or peek at stuff and kind of get a system of stuff, but until the game comes out, I don't think we really can get a feel for it. Now, there's a website. I will try to put the link for the website in this video, but there's a website that's out that you can actually start messing with the skill tree and move points to any class you want and max out the skill tree if you're just curious on the numbers of, you know, the power, the damage, and all this other stuff, tank builds and whatnot. So I'll post that. But we see it before where there's so many different gears and gear sets and weapons and perks and re-rolls and things you can do, only to find that there's metas. So I'm just curious, what would be the meta for this game? Is this game meta proof? I don't think any game honestly is meta proof, but will you have an opportunity to have different builds that are more impactful? And what I mean by that is, again, the Division. When you played the Division 2, it didn't matter what specialization you picked, it didn't feel impactful. Maybe that was just me, but unless you were doing it for a perk that was going to help your build, I give you an example, running Gunner for more ammo when you have your directives on heroic and you're running out resource convoys, that was it. It wasn't like you got in a group and said, man, I really need a technician right now, I really need a sharpshooter right now. So I'm just curious to see, I mean, are you going to be able to run a mission and say, man, this is pretty cool, but we really would get a boost of this and this if we're running it with a trickster or we're running it with a tech shaman. So those are the things I'm gonna be looking for. I know the video was a little long, but that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this game and I'll come back. If you've played this game, what is your feel? What's your take on it? Have you not played this game and you're thinking about downloading it? As this demo will be open for a long period of time. I don't know, like, what are you looking for? What are you concerned about? But I know what I'm not concerned about. I'm not concerned about you guys supporting this channel. I really appreciate that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just hit record. I'm starting to do a script now, but I still don't pause. Obviously you're hearing it, it is what it is. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Until next time, Kalika Lika Lao.